Hello dear learners, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are enjoying my videos and as well as learning from it. So today in this video we'll be discussing about the word problems from the quadratic equation. Now this section is important. Here if you do well then you can score up to 5 marks. And it's not possible to do the entire questions based on the quadratic equations. So I'll be solving some of the questions here and I'll be leaving rest to you. I'll just teach you how to solve and how to do such questions. Alright, so in this video we'll be discussing about the word problems related with the quadratic equation. Okay, so let's discuss this first question. So the question says the sum of two numbers is 15. If the sum of their reciprocals is 3 by 10, find the numbers. So here we are given two numbers, we don't know the numbers. But when you take the sum means addition. When you add these numbers, the sum will be how much? It will be 15. And if you take the reciprocal, the sum of the reciprocal of the numbers, then it will become 3 upon 10. So you have to find those numbers. So the main problem while solving this type of question is to form the equation. If you know how to form the equation, then after that you just have to solve it. And in order to solve it, you can use you can use the method of middle term breaking, factorization, or you can go for the quadratic formula. So I'll teach you how to form the equation. After that, solving this equation is very simple, and I have already discussed this in the previous videos. So if you have not checked the previous videos, then do check that first, and then you will understand this better. So let's start this video now. So since we don't know the two numbers, we will consider it as, so let the two numbers, we can say it be x and y. So since we do not know the numbers, we are considering them as x and y. Now according to the question, the first thing it says is the sum. So if you add these two numbers, you will get how much? 15. So what are the two numbers that we have taken? We have taken x and y. So if you take the sum, remember it means addition. So if you take the sum of the two numbers, that is x plus y in our case, it has to give us how much? 50. So the first sentence, the sum of two numbers is 15. And our two numbers that we have taken is x and y. So when you add x and y, we will get 15. Now if you take y to the other side, you can write this equation as 15 minus of y. Let this be equation number 1. Now why we are doing this is because we need to put this value in the second condition. Only then we will get a quadratic equation. So in order to obtain the quadratic equation, we can write this equation in form of x or in the form of y. Alright. So this is from the first condition. Now the second condition, it says that if the sum, again we have to add, but we have to add their reciprocals. So if the number initially we have taken is x and y, then the reciprocal of x will become 1 by x and reciprocal of y will become 1 by y. So if you add the reciprocal of these numbers, then the sum will be 3 divided by 10. So from the second condition, we have 1 divided by x plus 1 divided by y will be equal to 3 divided by 10. So these numbers are the reciprocals of the initial number that we have taken. Reciprocal of x is 1 by x, reciprocal of y is 1 by y. So if you take the sum, then this will become 3 divided by 10 here. Now in this equation, we will put the value of x. So here we will replace x is equals to 15 minus y. So this becomes, instead of x, we can write 15 minus y plus 1 by y is equals to 3 divided by 10. Now it is not compulsory that you have to take x is equals to 15 minus y. You can also take y is equals to 15 minus x. If you take y is equals to 15 minus x, then your quadratic equation will be in terms of x. And if you take x is equals to 15 minus y, then your quadratic equation will come in terms of y. So it's up to you. You can select any method. Alright. Now let's simplify this. So if you take the LCM here, this will become 15 minus y and y. Here we have 15 minus y, so we need to multiply with this y here. Plus we already have y, so it will be 15 minus y here, just taking the LCM. So there shouldn't be any problem here. After that, simplify this equation further. So in the numerator you will get y plus 15 minus y, and in the denominator if you multiply with y, this becomes 15y minus of y square. Y into y gives us y square, y into 15 gives us 15y. On the right hand side we have 3 divided by 10. In the numerator you can see that y and y can be cancelled out. So we will have 15 divided by 15y minus y square. Here you can also cancel, okay, let's do this here, 3 divided by 10. Now in the numerator we can cancel 3 and this can be cancelled as 5, and then if you cross multiply you will get, so 15y minus y square times y, 1 gives you 15y minus y square equals to 10 into 5, this will give you 50. Now what you have to do, you have to bring this into the standard form of the quadratic equation. So we will write minus y square plus 15y, 50, if you bring it to the left hand side, this becomes minus 50 is equals to 0. If you want to remove this minus sign, then you can take the minus common. Then remember, sign will change, plus will become minus, this minus will become plus, equals to 0. So our quadratic equation becomes y square minus 15y plus 50 is equals to 0. Now we will solve this quadratic equation, and for solving this quadratic equation what you have to do is you have to take either the middle term breaking, that is factorization, or you can use quadratic formula, whichever way you find it easy you do that. So I'll take middle term breaking or factorization method to find the value of y. So here, if you don't know how to do factorization, then I have already discussed this in my previous video, so please do check that. So here the middle term will be 10y minus 5y plus 50 is equals to 0, or if you take the common from the first two terms, this will become y minus 10 minus 5 will be common, y minus 10 is equals to 0. Now I am not explaining all these things because the video will become lengthy otherwise. So I hope you have understood this one. If not, then you can watch previous video for understanding how to do the middle term breaking. So this gives us y minus 10 is equals to 0. Now if you take y minus 5 is equals to 0, then y will be equal to 5, and if you take y minus 10 is equals to 0, then y will be equals to 10. So what we have done is, after forming the equation, the quadratic equation in terms of y, we have solved it and we have obtained two values of y, that is 5 and 10. Now let's find the value of x. Now for finding the value of x, you can replace this value of y in this equation number 1. So let's put the value here. Now if you take y is equals to 5, then the value of x will be 15 minus y, which is 15 minus 5, this will give you 10. And if you take y is equals to 10, then you will get x is equals to 15 minus y, which is 15 minus 10, that will be equal to 5. So you can see the two numbers that we are getting for x and y is 5 and 10. Alright, so therefore you will write the two numbers are 5 and 10. So if x is 5, y will become 10. If you take x as 10, then y will become 5. So in either way, you take the value, you add, you will get 15. Alright, so that means the value that you have obtained is correct. So the only thing that you have to understand is how to form the equation by understanding the sentence or by understanding the condition given. So you need a little bit of understanding, form the equation, after that it's very simple to find the answer. Alright, so let's try the second question. So the question is, the product of two consecutive odd numbers is 483. You have to find the numbers. So product here means when you multiply. So you have to understand the meaning of the word. Sum, S-U-M, sum means addition. Product means when you multiply. So the product of two consecutive odd numbers. So you have to take the multiplication of two consecutive odd numbers. Odd numbers are those which are not divisible by 2, like 1, 3, 5. Such numbers are called odd numbers. And consecutive means one after the other, like 3 and 5. These are two consecutive odd numbers. Similarly, 5 and 7. These are two consecutive odd numbers. So you have to take the product of two consecutive odd numbers. So when you multiply these two numbers, you will get 483. So you have to find the numbers here. Alright. So again here we don't know the numbers. So we will say let the two consecutive numbers, consecutive you have to say odd numbers be, let's say, x and x plus 2. Here we will not say x and y. We will say x and x plus 2 because we have only one condition. From that only we have to form the quadratic equation. Alright. So for example, if you take x is equals to 1, then x plus 2 will be how much? 1 plus 2, that will be equal to 3. So this 1 and 3 are the two consecutive odd numbers. Similarly, if you take x is equals to 3 here, then this becomes 3 plus 2 is equals to 5. So that means x and x2 are two consecutive odd numbers. So now according to the question, if you take the product, that means if you multiply these two consecutive odd numbers, you will get how much? 483. So therefore, according to the question, if you take the product of x and x plus 2, that is two consecutive odd numbers, you should get 483 here. Alright, so this is only one equation that can be formed. So from here only we will form the quadratic equation and we will solve for x. So what you will do, open the bracket with x. So this becomes x square plus 2x. If you bring this to the left hand side, it becomes minus 483 is equals to 0. So this is very simple question. The only thing you have to understand is two consecutive odd numbers. Alright. Now let's solve for x here. So here the two numbers will be 23x minus 21x minus 483 is equals to 0. So again, I have already taught how to take the middle term. So I am not going to explain this. But the two numbers, if you do it correctly, then the two numbers that will fit here will be 23 and 21. Okay. So if you take the common from the first two terms, this will be x into x plus 23. Here, if you take minus 21 common, then this becomes x minus, we have taken outside, so it becomes plus, this will become 23 equals to 0. Or x minus 21, x plus 23 is equals to 0. So if x minus 21 is equals to 0, then the value of x will be 21. And if you take x plus 23 is equals to 0, then x will be minus 23. So we have obtained the value of x. Now we have two odd numbers, which is x and x plus 2. So for that we will not take this solution because we are getting a negative number here. So let's take only x is equals to 21, because if you take minus 23, then you will get a negative number, I guess. So let's take x is equals to 21 here. Therefore, the two consecutive odd numbers are, so x, which is 21 here, so x is equals to 21, and the other number is x plus 2, this one. So x and x plus 2 are the two consecutive odd numbers. So x is equals to 21 is the first number. Second number is x plus 2, which is 21 plus 2, and this will give us 23. So therefore, the two consecutive numbers that we are getting is 21 and 23 here. Okay, so let's do the third question. This question is based on the numerator and denominator, that is fraction. Alright, so the first was related with the numbers. Now this is related with the fraction. So the question says the denominator of a fraction exceeds its numerator by 3. If 1 is added to both numerator and denominator, the difference between the new and the original fraction is 1 by 24. You have to find the original fraction. So a fraction is given, and in that fraction it says that the denominator exceeds numerator by 3. Exceeds means it is greater than the numerator. Denominator is greater than the numerator by how much? By 3. Now in the second case, they are saying if 1 is added to both numerator and denominator. So both the numerator and denominator we have to add 1. The difference between the new and the original fraction is 1 by 24. So find the original fraction. So we don't know the fraction here. So we will suppose. So we will write let the fraction be x divided by y. So in this fraction x divided by y, the upper term x is called as the numerator and the lower term y is called as the denominator. Alright, so we will take the first condition or the first case which says the denominator of a fraction exceeds its numerator by 3. So the denominator here is y according to the question, and it exceeds the numerator which is x by how much? Exceeds numerator by how much? By 3. So denominator equals to numerator plus 3. So the denominator is greater than numerator by how much? By 3. So this is the first case, that is y is equal to x plus 3. Now the second, it says if 1 is added to both the numerator and the denominator. So you have to add 1 to both the numerator and the denominator, and you have to take the difference. Difference means you have to subtract. So in word problem, the words are very important. Alright. So when you take the difference between what? The new and the original fraction. So what is the new fraction? New fraction is the one in which we have added 1 to both numerator and denominator. So if you add 1 to both numerator and denominator, the new fraction becomes x plus 1 divided by y plus 1. And the original fraction that we have taken is x divided by y. And what you have to do is, you have to take the difference. So when you take the difference between the new fraction and the original fraction, this should give you how much? 1 divided by 24. So in this way, you have to break the question and you have to form the equation. So try to understand the question properly and then you will get the equation correct. Then you can solve it. So here we got y is equals to x plus 3. This is from the first condition, and we got this from the second condition. Now let's form the quadratic equation in terms of x. So we will replace y is equals to x plus 3 in this equation. So we will write x plus 1 divided by y is how much? X plus 3, and we have this plus 1 minus x, again y is how much? X plus 3 is equals to 1 divided by 24. So here we have used equation number 1. So you can simplify this equation further. So this becomes x plus 1 divided by x plus 3 plus 1 give you 4 minus x divided by x plus 3 is equals to 1 divided by 24. Now when you have equation in this form, then how to make quadratic equation from here, I have taught you this in the previous video. So you can check that video to solve this kind of equation. Alright, so what we will do here, we will take the LCM. So LCM of x plus 4 and x plus 3 will remain x plus 4 times x plus 3. I hope you know how to do the LCM. Then this will become x plus 1 times x plus 3 minus we have x times x plus 4 here equals to 1 divided by 24. Then you have to multiply. This will become x squared plus 3x plus x plus 3 minus this will become x squared, minus into plus becomes minus. We will get 4x divided by, here we will get x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12 is equals to 1 divided by 24. We are not doing much, we are simply multiplying, opening the bracket with the terms, and we get this. We are simplifying further. So this x square and this x square can be cancelled here. We have minus 4x, we have 3x plus 3x, so this 3x plus x becomes 4x. cancels with minus 4x here. So we can write in the numerator we have only 3, and in the denominator we will get x square plus 4 plus 3 becomes 7x plus 12 is equals to 1 divided by 24. If you cross multiply, then this becomes x square plus 7x plus 12 is equals to 4 3 is 12, 3 2 6 7. Now if you bring 72 to the left hand side, then this becomes plus 12 minus 72 is equals to 0, or x square plus 7x, this will give you minus 60 is equals to 0. So the quadratic equation that we are getting here is x square plus 7x minus 60. So we will solve this quadratic equation and we will obtain the value of x from here. Okay, so this will become x square, this will become 12x minus 5x minus 60 is equals to 0. So if you take the common from the first two terms, this becomes x plus 12 minus 5 common, x plus 12 equals to 0, or we have x plus 12, x minus 5 equals to 0. So if you take x plus 12 is equals to 0, then x will be minus 12, and if you take x minus 5 equals to 0, then you get x is equals to 5. So after solving this quadratic equation, we got the values for x, which is 5 and minus 12. Now let's obtain the value of y. So our equation 1 was, we had y is equals to x plus 3. So if you take x is equals to minus 12, then y will become minus 12 plus 3, this will give you minus 9. If you take x is equals to 5, then you will get y is equals to 5 plus 3, which is equals to 8. Alright, so the original fraction that we have, therefore the original fraction will be, we have x divided by y, which will be equal to the value of x, we can take it as 5, and the value of y, we can take it as 8 here. So x equals to 5, y is equals to 8. So this is the fraction that we need. Alright, so x is equals to 5 and y is equals to 8 after solving the equations. So this is the original fraction that we need here in this case. Okay, so here we have another question. So the question says a 2-digit number is such that the product of the digits is 14. If when 45 is added to the number, then the digits interchange their places, we have to find the number. So you have a 2-digit number and the product of this 2-digit number is how much? 14. And when you add 45 to the number, then the digits will interchange the places. Interchange means they will replace their places. Alright, so you have to find the numbers. So let's solve this. So you can say let the 2 digits of the number be x and y. So we have 2 digits in a number. The 2 digits are x and y, such that the number is 10x plus y. So why we are writing 10x plus y is because, so we have 2 digits, so we have unit place and the 10th place. So on the 10th place we have digit x, so we are writing 10x, and in the unit place we have y. Okay, so we have the number 10x plus y and the 2 digits are x and y here. So now according to the first condition, it says that the product of the 2 digits is how much? 14. So what are the 2 digits that we have taken? X and y. So according to the question, product of the 2 digits is 14. So here you can write x is equals to 14 divided by 1. So let this be equation number 1. Now we will form the other equation. Now the question says when 45 is added to the number, read the question carefully, when 45 is added to the number, so we have to add 45 to the number. So what is the number? It is not xy. X and y are the digits. The number is 10x plus y. So you have to add 45 to this number. Then what will happen? The digits will interchange their places. So if you add 45 to this number, that is 10x plus y plus 45, then what will happen? The digits will interchange their place. So the digit in the unit place will go to the 10th place, and the digit in the 10th place will go to the units place. So that means this becomes 10y plus x. So this is the meaning of interchange. They will interchange their position or place. So let's simplify this. So 10x, if you bring this x to the left hand side, this becomes minus x. We have plus y here. You bring 10y to the left hand side, it becomes minus 10y. This, if you take it to the other side, this becomes minus 45. Or let's, for the timing, let's keep it here itself. 45 equals to 0. So this 10x minus x will give us 9x. 10y minus 10y plus y will give us minus 9y plus 45 is equals to 0. Or if you take out 9 common from here, this will become x minus y plus 9. 5 is a 45 is equals to 0. So this 9, if you take it to the other side, it becomes 0. 0 divided by 9 is 0. So our equation is x minus y plus 5 is equals to 0. So now this is not a quadratic equation. Now what we have to do here, we have to replace the value of x, which is 14 divided by y. After that we will get quadratic equation in the form of or in terms of y. So let's put the value of x from here, equation number 1. So 14 divided by y minus y plus 5 equals to 0. So here we have used equation 1. Now take the LCM. So this is y. This becomes 14 minus y square plus 5y equals to 0. If you cross multiply, this becomes 0. So we have minus y square. This is plus 5y plus 14 equals to 0. Or you can take minus common. You can write this as y square minus 5y minus 14 equals to 0. Or y square minus 5y. If you take minus 14 to the other side, or let's keep it here only, 14 is equals to 0. So we have obtained a quadratic equation which is in the form of y square minus 5y minus 14 is equals to 0. So let's solve this quadratic equation and obtain the value of y. So this becomes y square minus 7y plus 2y minus 14 is equals to 0. So if you take the common, this becomes y minus 7 plus 2 is common, y minus 7 equals to 0. Or y minus 7, y plus 2 is equals to 0. So we will get, if y minus 7 is equals to 0, then y will be equal to 7. And if y plus 2 is equals to 0, then y will be equals to minus 2. So once you obtain the value of y, we can obtain the value of x using equation number 1. So let's obtain the value of x. So what do we have is, we have x is equals to 14 divided by y. So if you take y is equals to 7, then x will be 14 divided by 7, that will be 2. And if you take y is equals to minus 2, then x will be 14 divided by minus 2, which will be minus 7. Alright. So now here you have to write the number. So we have obtained the value of x and y. So we have to find the number. Therefore, the 2-digit number is, So 10x plus y. So if you put the value of x as 2 and y as 7, then you will get the number as 27. Alright, so the 2-digit number that we need is 27 here. Okay, if you take y is equals to 7 and x is equals to 2. So this is the number that we need. Okay, so let's do the next question. This is question number 5. So in this question we are discussing about the age related question. So the question says the sum of the ages of a father and his son is 45 years. 5 years ago the product of their ages in years was 124. Determine their present age. So we have father and son, and the sum of their present age is how much? 45 years. And 5 years ago, if we take the product of their ages, then it will come out to be 124. So you have to calculate their present age. So this type of question is very common. So let's do this one. Since we don't know their present age, so let's write let the present age of father be x years and son be y years. So we are taking father's present age as x years and son's present age as y years. Now from the first condition, the sum, so you have to take the sum of the ages of father and son, and this will come out to be 45 years, which means if you add x and y, which is the present age of the son and the father, this will give us 45. So you can write this as x is equals to 45 minus y. Let this be equation number 1. Now this second part is important. It says 5 years ago. So if my age is 30 years now, what was my age 5 years ago? That means back. So 5 years ago I was 25 years. So similarly here it says, the question says 5 years ago. That means we have to take the age of father and his son 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, what will be the age of father? It will be, if x is the present age, then 5 years ago, ago means before, it will become x minus 5. As example, if x is 30 years here, then 5 years ago, before, you have to subtract this 5 and you will get 25. Okay. If the question says 5 years hence, means afterwards, then after the age will increase by 5 years. So it will become 35 years. So here the question says 5 years ago. That means 5 years before, not after. So before the age will be less, after the age will be more compared to the present age. So we are talking about the age before 5 years. So if x is the present age of father, then 5 years ago it will be x minus 5. And similarly for son, if y is the present age, then 5 years ago his age will also be y minus 5. So if we take the product of this, 5 years ago the product of their ages in years was 124. So if you take the product of their ages 5 years ago, 5 years before, then this product will give us 124. So you have to find the present age of father and son. So let's do this question. So we'll replace x is equals to 45 minus 1 y. So 45 minus y minus 5 here. Y minus 5 equals to 124. So we have used equation number 1 here. So this will give us 40 minus y. Y minus 5 is equals to 124. Then multiply this, you will get 40 times y. Minus into plus is minus. 40 into 5 is 200. Then minus y into y gives you minus y square. Minus into minus gives you plus. 5 into y is 5y is equals to 124. Or 40y. Okay, so we have this minus y square, then 40y plus 5y gives us 45y, minus 200 is here. This will come to the left hand side, this becomes minus 124 equals to 0. So minus y square plus 45y minus minus, the sign will remain minus, the value will be added. So this becomes 324. Alright, if you want to take the minus common, then this will become y square minus 45y plus 324 is equals to 0, or our equation will become y square minus 45y plus 324 equals to 0 here. So we got this quadratic equation, y square minus 45y plus 324 equals to 0. So we will solve this equation and obtain the value of y. So using the method of factorization, we will get this as minus 36y minus 9y plus 324 equals to 0. If you take out the common from the first two terms, this becomes y minus 36 minus 9 is common. This becomes y minus 36 equals to 0, or y minus 36 y minus 9 equals to 0. So if you take y minus 36 equals to 0, then y will be equal to 36, and if you take y minus 9 equals to 0, then you get y is equals to 9. So we have obtained the value of y here. Now we will put this value in equation number 1 and we will obtain the value of x here. So let's find the value of x here. So we had x plus y is equals to 45, or x is equals to 45 minus y. So if you take y is equals to 36, then x will be 45 minus 36, this will give you 9, and if you put y is equals to 9, then x will be 45 minus 9 is equals to 36. So we are getting two values of x and y. Now here you have to understand that x is the age of father and y is the present age of son. Obviously, age of father has to be greater than the age of the son. So here y equals to 36 cannot be possible because y is the present age of son. So if you take y is equals to 36, you are getting x is equals to 9. That means father's age is lesser than son's age. So the correct answer will be, therefore, the present age of father and son is x will be equal to 36 years, which is the present age of father, and y will be equal to 9 years, which is the present age of the son. So in this way we will find the present age of father and son. So the question is very common, so you can practice this type of sums and easily score marks. Now it's not possible for me to do all the questions here, so I'll be leaving some questions for you to practice. Please do that. And if you have not watched previous videos on quadratic equation, then do watch those videos and learn how to do factorization, how to use quadratic formula to get the roots of the equations. Alright, so please do like, share and subscribe my video and prepare well for your examination. Thank you everyone.